we are going to be finding the equation of a perpendicular bisector. The essential skills from National 5 are finding the gradient of a straight line and rearranging an equation. A perpendicular bisector is a line that cuts through the midpoint of another line and also meets it at right angles. In both cases in the diagrams, CD is the perpendicular bisector of AB. Key steps: make a sketch to visualise the problem, find the midpoint, find the gradient of the line AB, use your perpendicular rule, and finally use y minus b equals m bracket x minus a. Example 1. A is the point -2, 1 and B is the point 4, 7. Find the equation of the perpendicular bisector of AB. First we'll start with a sketch. So we need to find the midpoint of AB to find a point on the perpendicular bisector. To find the midpoint of AB, we add the x coordinates, -2 plus 4, and divide by 2, and we add the y coordinates, 1 plus 7, and divide by 2. This will give us a midpoint of 1, 4. After we've done this, we'll need to start with the gradient of AB, so our difference in y is divided by the difference in x coordinates. So 7 take away 1, divided by 4 minus 2. This will give us 6 divided by 6, which simplifies to 1. Therefore, the perpendicular gradient would be -1. We're going to use the perpendicular gradient -1 and our midpoint 1, 4 to find the equation of our perpendicular bisector. Start by writing down y minus b equals m bracket x minus a. Y minus 4 equals -1 bracket x minus 1. Therefore, we're going to expand our bracket. -1 times x is -x. And remember double negatives. -1 multiplied by -1 is +1. And finally, rearrange to give the equation of the perpendicular bisector as x plus y equals 5. Example 2. Find the equation of the perpendicular bisector to the line joining A, -8, 2 and B, 6, 10. Again, start with a sketch. Midpoint. The midpoint of AB would be -8 plus 6 over 2, adding the x coordinates and halving, then adding y, 2 plus 10 over 2. This will give us a midpoint of -1, 6. Next step is the gradient of the line AB. Difference in y's, 10 take away 2 over the difference in x coordinates, 6 take away -8, which will give us a gradient of 4 over 7. This is fully simplified. Our perpendicular gradient, using our perpendicular rule, flipping 4 over 7 and changing the sign, will give us an answer of -7 over 4. We're going to use this gradient of -7 over 4 and the midpoint -1, 6 to find the equation of the perpendicular bisector. Inserting these values, we get y minus 6 equals -7 over 4, x take away -1. Before we expand our bracket, it's best to remove the fraction by multiplying everything by the denominator. So I'm going to multiply the whole equation by 4. This will give an answer of 4y minus 24 equals, and then I'll be left with -7 multiplied by a bracket, and if I expand the bracket I get an answer of -7x take away 7, which rearranges to give 7x plus 4y is equal to 17. Now try these examples on your own. Pause the video to complete them in your class jotter. The answers. Question A was 2x minus y equals 5, and B, x minus 3y equals negative 8. Some terminology. Again, there are 3 perpendicular bisectors in a triangle and they are also concurrent. The place at which they meet is the circumcentre. If you would like more practice, turn to page 13, exercise 1I, question 1 and 2. So what have we learned today? To form the equation of a perpendicular bisector, we need to follow some key steps. Step 1, make a sketch to visualise the problem. Step 2, find the midpoint. Step 3, find the gradient. Step 4, use your perpendicular rule to get your perpendicular gradient. And finally, y minus b equals m bracket x minus a.